President's Choice World of Flavors Portuguese Chicken Flavored Chips. Inspired by delicious flavors of peri-peri chicken, these crunchy ripple chips deliver bold spice, tasty tanginess, and the perfect hint of smokiness. Before we get into the review, let's have a quick look at the nutritional info and the ingredients. Alright, let's get started, beginning with
taste and seasoning.
Wow, these chips nail the peri-peri flavor. It has a bold seasoning in every bite. It's got a perfect balance of salty, spicy, and that signature peri-peri tang. But what really stood out to me is the lemon. You can really taste that lemony flavor. It's like the main ingredient, but it's still not overpowering. Whoever put this flavor together really knew what they were doing. And the seasoning is consistent too. Every chip is well coated and the flavor doesn't fade away halfway through a bite. It's got a natural, well-balanced taste. Doesn't have any weird aftertaste. It's one of the better executed seasoning profiles I've ever had. Taste and seasoning gets a 5 out of 5.
Smell and aroma.
These chips have a really powerful aroma to them that matches what they taste like. You get that roasted peppery heat and the smell of grilled peri-peri chicken with a twist of lemon. And you can actually feel the spice in your nostrils, but not in a bad way. Instead, it's a tingly, savory way that makes your mouth water. It's one of those smells that instantly draws you in. As soon as you catch a whiff, you want to try them. They're really inviting and they're super on brand with the flavor. Aroma is a 5 out of 5.
Texture and crunch.
These chips have a lighter, airier crunch compared to the Ruffles brand, which are a little thicker and a bit more rigid. But that's not a bad thing. I actually don't mind this at all. It's nice to have some variety. The lighter texture is a nice change and it works well with this flavor. The strong seasoning pairs well with the lighter chip. They do soften up a bit more than other chips once you chew on them, but once again, that's not a bad thing. If anything, it actually enhances the flavor as it coats your mouth. These chips don't leave your mouth feeling torn up either, and they still deliver a satisfying crunch and crispiness. I think they have a great mouthfeel. I'll give them a solid 4 out of 5.
Spiciness.
Even though the package says hot, I wasn't expecting them to bring this much heat. It's not overwhelming, but they're definitely spicier than I anticipated. And unlike some of the other spicy chips I've reviewed here, I actually did need a drink after eating a handful of these ones. What I really enjoy though is the spice doesn't just hit all at once. It builds. There's a bit of a delayed kick that hits after you swallow, and that's something that works for me. I really enjoy that with a chip. The spice also lingers just long enough to keep things interesting without taking over the whole experience. It doesn't overwhelm that nice lemony peri-peri taste. The spice just really elevates the rest of the flavor. It gives it some edge. I'd say spice is somewhere between a 3.5 and a 4 out of 5, but I'd like to keep those higher scores reserved for the seriously hot stuff, so I'll land at 3.5 out of 5 on the spiciness level.
Freshness.
As far as freshness goes, there's nothing to complain about here. These chips weren't stale, they weren't oily, they weren't dull. They're full of flavor and they have a nice, clean, crispy bite throughout the whole bag. And with them not being oily, they're not greasy either, and no strange aftertaste. Everything just works very well with the seasoning. I like how the spice adds a nice fresh feeling too. It kind of wakes up your taste buds a little bit. Every chip had that nice, freshly opened bag of chips crunch, which is exactly what you want. They couldn't have been much fresher, so I'll give them a 5 out of 5.
Value.
This store brand of chips is always cheaper than the popular national brands. I paid $2.50 for this 200 gram bag, which is usually $2 cheaper than the competition when the competition's not on sale. So how can you go wrong with that? Also, These chips taste incredible. We've all bought a more budget-friendly option for chips before, and we've all been disappointed by that purchase, but these ones don't disappoint. You're getting full flavor, a full-size bag, and great quality. Value is easily a 5 out of 5. These are a really great purchase.
Packaging and branding.
The packaging is just okay. There's nothing special about it, nothing that really jumps out or grabs your attention. It doesn't scream quality. Kind of looks like a budget brand, which, to be fair, it is. The only thing I do like is the image of the chicken on the front, but even that could have been done better. If you're going to showcase Portuguese chicken, lean into it. Show the char, the flames, the seasoning, something that sells the experience. Like this. As it stands, the bag is pretty plain. It's got a basic layout. The design isn't all that creative in my opinion, and the color scheme doesn't really do much. It's the kind of packaging that you just walk past in the chip aisle unless you were specifically looking for this flavor. And it is that flavor that made me pick it up, not the design. So for packaging, I'll give it a 3 out of 5. It's just basic.
Uniqueness.
These chips are unique. I don't think I've ever seen Portuguese chicken flavored chips on the shelf before. And these actually pull it off. The combination of peri-peri spices, lemon, garlic, and heat all in a chip? Wow. It's not just a variation of barbecue or spicy chips. It's its own thing. And these really have a nice layered flavor. You get that savory roasted chicken mixed with a citrusy kick and a slow building heat, all packed up into a chip that actually tastes like the name on the bag. That is very unique. It brings something very different that I haven't tried before, so uniqueness gets full marks, 5 out of 5.
Final rating.
Overall, these chips are a great surprise. The flavor is strong, very well balanced, and actually tastes like Portuguese chicken. I definitely wasn't expecting that. The heat builds nicely, the texture works well with the seasoning, and the freshness is spot on. They've also got this rare mix of being affordable without tasting cheap. The only real knock here is the packaging. It just doesn't reflect how good the chips are. If I wasn't specifically looking to review different flavors of chips, I probably never would have bought these. And that's a shame because they are amazing. If you're into spicy, flavorful chips with something different going on, this bag is worth a pickup. For me, it's a strong 4.5 out of 5. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching.